Hello everybody, it's Gary Hallican here, and I've got another car kit to show you. This is from a company called Reobrix, and I haven't built any from them before, so we will see how this one turns out. And it is clearly some sort of Ferrari. We've got the approximation of the Ferrari horse logo here on it, but I couldn't figure out exactly which Ferrari it's supposed to be. I looked at a few different pictures, and I'm not quite sure which model this is supposed to be. So if someone in the comments can let me know which Ferrari this is, that would be great. Maybe once I have it built, we'll get a better idea of it as well. All right, so this was fairly cheap. This one I think was a little bit cheaper than some of the other kits I've shown on the channel. I think this was like $8 or so, something like that. So pretty cheap. Came in a fairly nice box. Let's go ahead and see what we get. So in the box we've got one huge bag of parts that looks like it has a couple smaller bags in it. Let me go ahead and open this one. So inside this big bag we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bags of parts, and that makes sense considering that the first one I pulled out was labeled number 5 here. So we'll look at the manual in a second and find out if we open all of them at once or if we do them one at a time. And then we've got, I guess this is a parts separator. So that's nice. It's got a piece on it for Technic style parts there too. So that's kind of interesting. All right, let's see the manual here. And we should have a sticker sheet because of the logos, so there it is. So there is the sticker sheet. It's kind of in not really a bright red. It's a little bit of a brick red kind of color. And I guess pretty much matches the parts, judging by that. We'll see later on. And then the manual feels very thin and doesn't say anything about doing one bag at a time, so I'm guessing you probably just open all of them at once. There's no minifigure with this one, so maybe that's where the $1 or $2 cheaper comes in, is that there's no minifigure with this one. Alright, so I'm going to build it, and then I'll come back and show you what we get. Okay, we're back with our completed Ferrari, and I think it turned out pretty good. It looks pretty cool from all of the sides here, appropriately sporty and all of that. This was one where the instructions didn't say to put on the stickers until the very end, so I have decided just to leave them off for now, and I think it looks quite good even without them. As far as whether or not it looks like the actual car, I'm not sure on that. As I said in the intro, I couldn't pin down exactly what model of Ferrari this is supposed to be. So if you know, please let me know in the comments. But even without knowing that, I think it looks pretty good and looks like a really nice sports car. Unfortunately, this one doesn't roll really well. I think that's mostly down to the design of the car. As you can see here, the wheels just barely clear the bottom of the car. And so it does roll, but just the wheels are a little bit tight on it, and it doesn't roll really well. The other thing with it is you can see here in the manual, and on the manual and on the box, it shows the doors opening, going straight up like that. Well, they can't do that. They can only go about that far. If you wanted them to go straight up, you'd have to take it all the way off and twist it and put it on that way. But that's not too big a deal, I don't think. There's also nothing really to see on the interior, and there are no stickers to go on the interior for any details, and so we don't really get any seats or gauges or dials or anything like that. We do get the steering wheel and for some reason, if you can see it here, one single blue piece there in the interior. So that's the only blue piece in the entire kit for some reason. But otherwise, not really much to see in the interior. So the build for this was very straightforward. It took just over an hour, just barely over an hour, I think. And there's not really anything super unusual in the build, but you do end up with, a lot of unique shapes going on. So that is good. But there are a couple interesting things about this build. So for one, this car did not come with one of those car base pieces like most of the other similar kits come with. See, if we look at the bottom here, and if I bring in a Speed Champions, you can see this base piece, right, that all of the Speed Champions start with. And our Ferrari here did not have one of those. So that's a little bit different. And the other interesting thing about this is there were absolutely 0 extra parts in this kit. Pretty much every other kit I've ever built has had a few extra pieces, especially usually the little tiny pieces. There are a few extras of those. Not so in this case. There were no extra pieces at all. You use every single piece that came in the box. So that is sort of interesting. Let's go ahead and do some size comparisons then. So here is the Lego Speed Champions Lamborghini Countach. And these are pretty much exactly the same size. You can see here they are very similar in size. So our Reobrix Ferrari is good in scale with our Speed Champions there. So you see they're very similar in size. Here is the Sluban Lamborghini Diablo. And it again is almost the same size as our Ferrari here. So this Ferrari will look good with the rest of them and will be nicely in scale with them. Okay, so that is the Reobrix Technologie Supercar Ferrari. And I think it's a very good value, and it turns out looking pretty cool. I think overall I might put this one a notch or two below most of the other ones I've built because it doesn't come with a minifigure. And there's the things like the doors, and there's a few pieces that are held on at just one stud and some things like that. But having said that, it was also a couple dollars cheaper than most of the other ones. So I can't really fault it really in any way there. I would say it is a really good value for one of these kits. So let me know in the comments if you know what model of Ferrari this is supposed to be, or if you have this one, and let me know if you have any other Reobrix kits, and let me know what other cool kits you have, and we'll see you in the next review.